Are you wondering what it takes to become a technical curriculum developer at AWS? What about learning more about some free tools, training, and development to start your journey on becoming AWS certified? Maybe you want to develop a course or you enjoy creating content that's easily consumed. Well, don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, and notify because you're going to want to stick around. We're talking with Julie Elkins, an AWS Technical Curriculum Developer, about her journey to content development. But she didn't start there. Julie Elkins didn't start out with AWS experience and was working at the National Science Foundation when she purchased her first AWS CSA course. Julie has been a burst of energy and growing professionally from working at Linux Academy, ACloudGuru, and now a curriculum developer at AWS. Speaking of energy, do you find yourself needing a little extra pickup in the morning, or you feel that normal 2 p.m. after lunch drag? Then you might want to grab yourself some devilish good coffee from none other than the Diabolical Coffee Store that is roasted on demand and shipped right out to your door. Please join me in welcoming our next guest, a technical curriculum developer at AWS, Julie Elkins. Julie, thanks for joining us.
Well, thanks so much for having me. I'm happy to be here.
So, Julie, we're going to jump right into things. And typically, I asked our guests to give us a little backstory on themselves before we go into our current topic. But today's a little bit unique, is that our current topic today is you. And the audience is going to get to know you and how you ended up creating content at now AWS. How about a little backstory on yourself?
Well, I started out about almost 6 years ago. I was administrative assistant at the National Science Foundation. We had a team of 81 engineers that managed the infrastructure for NSF, National Science Foundation. And as most agencies are doing these days, they started moving to the cloud, and AWS became one of the services that we were looking at using. And I started taking some courses on it and fell in love. It really changed my life, especially Linux Academy and their Certified Solutions Architect course. Just my big passion is paying it forward and helping others who are in a similar situation or maybe completely different situation that I was in, learn, be curious, and you change their lives.
Now, Julie, kind of a little bit of a question. Really, what drove you to be that content creator or developer? And something I do want to touch on is your first job in AWS, having no experience on it. But what really drove you to being this content creator or developer?
Well, actually, I had a mentor at NSF. And, when you're starting out and you have no IT experience, no background in IT, it's really hard to get anyone to take a chance on you because they want you to have that experience already. And you just want that chance to get experience. So I first built a blog on AWS just from scratch. And I started posting different things I was working on, different little projects. And then I started a YouTube channel, to get a little bit more interaction, a little bit more depth in my projects. And was getting nowhere at getting a technical job of any sort because I didn't have that experience. And I saw a post on LinkedIn from Broadus Palmer. He was saying, "Hey, come work with us. We're hiring." I applied and luckily landed the job. When I landed the job, my manager, Thomas Haslett, he told me, he said, "You were really junior at what we would normally hire for this position." He's like, "But you're already out there. You're making content, you're sharing your content." And he's like, "So let's just take a chance and do it, at Linux Academy." So, that, was just amazing. The one, that I got the interview to, they were like, "Okay, let's try it. Let's take a chance on it." And then, once you get in and you start learning, we started, not only did I have to create content, and it wasn't really the position I was looking for. I wanted that hands-on technical job. But Linux Academy, we have to build labs from scratch. We have to write the CloudFormation templates and do all of that stuff. So I was really lucky.
Okay. Before I ask you my next question, do you know Thomas was my manager at Linux Academy as well?
That is amazing. Yeah, he moved up right after I joined to like upper management, but yeah, he was one of the big people that changed my life. There's a few of them, so
So
pretty awesome that we have
I
that in
enjoyed his
common.
content. He created
Yeah,
great content at Linux Academy. I enjoyed his, and that's really where I was working on my certification. If everybody don't know, I did a summer stint at Linux Academy. You joined, I don't want to say shortly after, but probably a couple of years or a year after at Linux Academy. That's pretty cool. Thomas is really good. I like his content. He was a really good manager to work for. I actually got to meet him in person because a lot of the Linux Academy stuff you were remote. Really jumping on it. You said you built a blog in the AWS. Is that by any chance still available?
it is. It's awsjulie.com.
Oh, okay. Everybody, real quick, I will put that link in the description below so you can join. I love that it's still available. Did you know that a little side note, and I know I go off on it, Jeff Barr still has a very old blog out there running on EC2 instances?
I didn't know that.
Another one, I will drop a link in the
Okay.
description. Okay. He did just update it recently with something like, man, I got to figure out how to get my IAM access keys to this EC2 instance. I don't know if I have it anymore. And he actually wrote a blog post on how he did and got access back to his website since he hasn't updated. It was actually a website for Legos as well. You can buy Legos from different places. Very unique, just huge in the Legos. But I just want, I know I went off on it. The other thing is, did everybody know? And I did not know this. I was doing my background on you, and I did not know you had a YouTube channel. So the very first thing I did is I hit subscribe because I know how hard it is.
It is so hard.
I do. And I want to build up your subscriber count. Once again, everybody, I will drop that link in the description below. As always, if you want, like and subscribe my channel, but now you have to go to Julie's channel and you got to like and subscribe as well because we are content creators bringing out. And I think we both provide the value that you're looking for. So Julie, jumping into the next one, we have a discussion backstage and you just mentioned how you got your chance into AWS, but breaking into IT with no experience. And I think that it's a huge accomplishment because you broke into AWS with no experience, right? Tom gave you this chance, or is that how it worked?
Yeah, that's pretty much how it worked. Because when you don't have that on-premise, like my goal is to one day be a solutions architect. I think it might be slightly changing as I get more into content development, but to be a solutions architect, you have to have years of experience, not only on premises in AWS, but third-party tools. And when you're someone like myself who doesn't have that experience and doesn't have any background that you can draw on for that experience, it's really tough. And there's only so many projects, that you can do to add to your resume or add to your blog, or add to your YouTube channel that can really get your foot in the door and get you noticed. So it's hard to get that depth.
Yeah. I'm not sure with the essay part, I think you'd be great as an actual trainer because you get to develop that stuff, you get to work on it, and you're really good with the content creation. But if an essay is what you want to do, or at least a stepping stone, I think you might have found your niche. I'm just letting you know, I'm doing something I never thought I would be doing, and I love it.
That's great.
All right, so Julie, let's jump into Linux Academy. You were at Linux Academy from March 2019 to August 2020. And when I say August 2020, it was still, you didn't make a change in a job. Linux Academy was bought out by ACloudGuru in December 2019, right? Right after reInvent, they announced it.
Yeah, right after.
Yeah, it was right in the, it was probably 2 weeks or so, somewhere right around there. It was interesting because I got a picture with, I think it was Sam or Ryan at reInvent. That was and the only reason I remember 2019, it was the last reInvent that everybody went to. It was also the time I put the AWS logo in my hair, and I got pictures with Sam and Ryan. So it was really interesting. Let's talk about your Linux Academy experience and some of the things you worked on there.
Oh, it was really like a dream, because I had listened to a lot of the people I was now working with, every morning, every night, just hearing them all day long. Sometimes I would listen during my lunch breaks, and then to be able to work with them and then to become friends with them, it was it was completely unreal. And to learn from them, I had my orientation buddy was Tia Williams. And
Yes, yes.
I owe so much to her because she will tell you like it is, and she will tell you what she wants and how she wants it. And then, just let you go. So you had to sort of scramble and figure it out on your own, which is really one of the best ways to learn, in my opinion, is to actually get in there and do it. But yeah, that was just amazing to work with those people. Another one, Mark Richmond, he's actually at AWS with me now, but he's an SA. But yeah, it's just a great place to actually meet, sort of your heroes, people that, were a big part of your stepping stone, helping you change your lives, and then to become friends and coworkers with them. It was amazing.
All right, so I'm gonna name drop somebody here. Craig, have you got a chance to work with Craig?
Oh,
Craig
yeah.
and I started at the same time, and I saw he's still
Really?
there. That's pretty cool because that is exactly. I saw him grow in the couple of months that I was there, and he loves doing that, and just really has grown over the time. The other person, what about Derek Morgan? Have you ever listened to any of his content that he created?
I do. I follow him on LinkedIn, and also there's a Slack group that I follow him on, and I've taken some of his content, but not a lot. But Craig and I are still friends. We still talk pretty regular. He's a very quiet person. He just very quiet. His DevOps professional course is the course I use for that exam. So, I was just like, the whole time, because you listen to him in your head at night and then you talk to him the next day. And it's just really wonderful. But yeah, there's a really amazing group. And Anthony James, at the Linux Academy office, he's just got signs everywhere. I mean, he just had so much heart into that company, about, today's the day you can change a life. And it was just very empowering and welcoming and aspiring, to realize, that you're doing something can help someone else change their lives, just like they did for me. So it was amazing.
Yeah, great group of people out there. I actually had Derek on my show a couple of weeks ago. We were talking about remote return, or hybrid office. Derek gave a really good insight that I released. In fact, you know what? I'm going to give a quick shout out. If you want to take a look at Derek's stuff, take a look up here. I'll provide the link to the remote return or hybrid office. Now, Julie, jumping back to it, let's talk about ACloudGuru and the transition over there. How are things going? Like, what was it like? And I also want to know what your thoughts on the latest acquisition was.
Well, I thought when I heard the news, I was really excited because Faye Ellis and Keisha Williams were huge. I'm huge fans of theirs. Yeah, I get all fangirl around them still today. But so I was so excited that, not only was I going to be able to work with all these amazing Linux Academy instructors, but now, the ACloudGuru instructors as well. So, I think just my love of AWS is just so enormous that I just get so excited to actually meet these people and work with these people in person. I thought the whole merge went really well. Everyone had to go through a completely new boot camp. And because, the Linux Academy labs, the legacy LA people were really strong in that. But then ACloudGuru had a lot of ways that they did things that were slightly different. And all of the legacy ACloudGuru people were really great at that. So we had this boot camp and everyone just sort of merged together. And it was really neat because a lot of the content creators created the content for the boot camp. So that was just really neat to see everyone's take on it. But we all had to get a course and run through the course with the lab and the questions and everything in the new way of doing it. So it was really great for me because it gave me an extra layer of how to create content and different ways to look at things.
And I know the latest acquisition, the Pluralsight, that was really interesting. I used ACloudGuru, I used Linux Academy, Udemy, obviously for all my training and getting up the knowledge. So ACloudGuru was another one that I utilized. Then moving over to Pluralsight, what was your thoughts on that?
I was shocked. I was in a meeting at AWS, and Mark Richmond, he Slacked me and said, Pluralsight just bought ACloudGuru, and I didn't believe him. I thought he was messing with me because, that never ever, I was completely shocked by it. It never occurred to me that would be in the cards because they weren't even finished merging Linux Academy and ACloudGuru together. They were still, it was one platform, but it wasn't, there were still things on the LA side and still things on the ACG. Everything wasn't on the one platform. So yeah, that was really interesting because now they have to do another merge. So.
Well, I got to give a congratulations to them. Startup 5 years, they sold for almost $2 billion.
Yeah,
I mean, it was the
amazing.
biggest, and whatever, biggest Australia acquisition or sell of a startup in history.
Yeah. I never met them in person, but we had a lot of Zoom calls with Sam. And he seemed also a lot like Anthony, just full of heart. He has a huge family. He has like 5 or 6 kids. I can't remember off the top of my head, but was just always smiling, always positive, very welcoming. So yeah, very happy for them.
Nice. Well, congratulations to ACloudGuru on that. And in fact, it's a very interesting because you went the Linux Academy, ACloudGuru, and if you stuck around, you'd be going to Pluralsight. But it just so happens that you're now at AWS. So congratulations. I know that is probably a transition you were always looking forward to and making that jump.
It's absolute. The thing I love about AWS is everyone there is just obsessed with AWS and the customers like I am. So it feels very home-like, it just feels like a very good place to settle. But I think the thing I love, like at ACloudGuru and Linux Academy, we were kind of on our own. We created the content. We created the syllabus and the labs, and we did all that. But at AWS, I have a whole team. Actually have a technical architect, Eric Robertson, who is amazing. And I'm actually getting that one-to-one feedback and a little bit more depth, that senior level that I'm looking for. And then being able to work with SMEs is really amazing too. Because they see things from a different technical, perspective than I have. So yeah, I feel like I've just kind of struggling, doing that, just trying to keep my head above water, but pumping out that content. And their way of things is definitely different than ACloudGuru or Linux Academy, much different. So there's a huge learning curve there as well.
Yeah, I can imagine. I'm going to give you a little bit of information. Did you know that the time that I transitioned out of AWS, you transitioned into AWS, same month? Weird timing. I'm just going to have to say, Linux Academy, now you're at AWS.
Following you.
I'm at an awesome company spot. Just let you know, throw it out. So going off to AWS, let's give the audience, what do you really do? What does a technical curriculum developer do? Who is it benefiting? Who are your customers? Who's your audience? What are you making? What are you doing?
Well, our audience, our customers are the students, anyone technical out there looking for training. My main customer right now is our product manager, the one that requested the course. And I'm just creating content. I was actually given a design document, so I didn't have to create a syllabus. Eric and our ID, Vincent, created this design document, and then I just have to fill it with content, which is absolutely amazing. It's just, I kind of feel like, that's sort of my sweet spot. I can just take the content that I know, throw it out there, and then, Google and ask around to get more depth on the things that, I don't have that depth on. And that's where Eric and the SMEs have come in really handy. I feel like I've learned so much. I landed on the networking team, which I'm not really sure how I ended up on the networking team. I think I thought I'd be like a more generic, like the architecting team or, something like that. But I'm absolutely loving it. We at NSF, we managed and, built the networking for NSF. So I have a little bit that I can pull from there. Not much, just a wee little tiny bit. But yeah, absolutely love it. I'm just creating content all day. It goes through tons of reviews. I get tons of feedback. I incorporate that feedback. And in 8 days, hopefully, we're going to finish course 3 for the networking curriculum which will be my actual first course for AWS. I did a refresh for course 1 of the networking curriculum. So yeah, I'm really excited.
Real quick, now you said the content you're creating, are you, creating screenshots and a walkthrough, a video content, hands-on, a lab? Give us a little more in depth on what type of content you're creating.
So I'm not doing the labs. I do get to participate in the labs. I get to share a few CloudFormation templates that I had. But right now, I'm just building content. So it's just basically written words. And Tuesday, we were in studio. We did a couple of videos that we recorded. I've never been in studio recording. Yeah, I always record from here. So that was an amazing experience.
But yeah, studio environment's just a little stressful when everybody's on you and you are like, we got to do this in one take. We've got time, but keep going on.
Love your words. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So I'm just creating the content. We create content in Rise. So it has different options. So you can add videos, you can do accordions, you can do tab style learning, all kinds of different options in there.
Nice. That's really interesting. Now, you mentioned that you took Craig's course for DevOps, and I have to jump in. Did you pass the DevOps exam that you were going to? Okay, just checking. Craig, I didn't want to put you on the spot, but she said she took your course, so I figured it was that you passed. Shout out to Craig for helping it. Now, you're also working on the networking portion, which you said you don't know why. You're like, man,
I don't have that experience.
But guess what? That's one of the benefits with AWS is you're taking out of your comfort zone. Now you're going to learn networking. Networking is huge and crucial it's like the 101. You should take this going into AWS. So I think that's really good coming in with a fresh perspective into networking because you can challenge certain things that people are under the assumption that you should already know.
Right.
You're going in, you're like, I don't know this. Well, guess what? Now there's prereqs to it.
Yeah, that's happened a little bit already because it's a level 2 course. So it's not, it's not beginners. It's a little bit intermediate. And I had to fight to keep a network design document in there. I wanted to talk about your network design, how you should have it documented. You should keep it updated. And it kept getting cut. And then they had a customer come in and I was not part of that discussion, but the customer really valued their network design or something. And anyways, they're like, let's add it back in. And I was like, yes, I get to keep that. So
nice. Wow. I'm glad it was working out for you. I've got 2 more questions before we kind of wrap things up. One, you mentioned training is personal. And I'd like you to elaborate on that just a little bit, because as a content creator, that's something we strive to achieve.
Right.
But you mentioned it, so it really kind of validates it. What do you mean by training is personal?
Well, I think the big thing for me is there's all kinds of training out there, right? There's multiple courses, especially on Udemy. You can get lost on Udemy looking at different courses out there. But for me, I think just because it changed my life and it's been so recent that I'm just still really passionate about that. But a lot of people don't vibe with me. So my most negative feedback was my voice and my pacing. So when I get excited, I start talking faster and my Southern accent will start, flying out here and there. And it's hard when you're recording to keep a cadence and keep a pace and keep talking nice and slow. So you sort of have to vibe, with your instructor. You have to enjoy their voice, or, trust their content is solid. And then also, I think for me, go to people who are passionate, about creating that content, who, create that content because they want to help others. They want to help people change their lives, or get a new skill or do whatever they need to do. But then they're also giving back. So they're also in the community answering questions or helping out or, anyone, we can, as AWS employees, can refer people in, which holds a little bit more weight coming in that way versus just coming in cold off the street. So, just giving back, paying that forward. Because I was really lucky with the sort of my path and how it came about, and I just really want to pay that back. And I think people should support people who, like me and like yourself. And, there's Adrian Cantrell and John Bonzo, Stuart Scott from Cloud Academy, just people out there who are out there daily answering questions, helping out however they can. And it just becomes very personal. And then, and then it's personal in another way, like you create that content and then you have feedback. And sometimes it's like, oh, like I put a lot of heart into that feedback, but then, yes, I see what you're saying. So you have to be able to step back from that, sometimes and make that adjustment because you want to have solid content that is going to work for everyone.
And you mentioned work for everyone. And just as you said, content's not always for everyone. Your personality is not for everyone. So you have to have that. One of the things that I loved about Linux Academy was the community engagement. Like somebody said, hey, I passed, I did this, or we reached out immediately. Congratulations, great to hear from it. Or you were on LinkedIn, Facebook, you were really kind of engaged with the community and responding to them on that positive feedback. And as you grow into a bigger company, it's very difficult. My last question for you, because I know we are running out of time, is, are you working on any current certifications?
I am. I'm working. I have 2 left. I have data analytics is the one I'm working on now. And it's not big data anymore. It's whatever that new database one is. Databases is my weak area. So I've saved those for last. And I don't know why I decided to do machine learning before data analytics, because I'm seeing a lot of stuff that I've learned during the machine learning training in the data analytics training. But yeah, I wanted to have that done August, and here we are in August. But just, with the new AWS job and learning the new AWS way and doing things, I'm just still struggling to get through that. But yeah, that's the one I'm working on now.
All right. Well, good luck on those exams. And is there any information we can give to the audience on free AWS training or resources that we can provide?
AWS has tons of free training. I do believe their labs are, I don't remember how much those are, but I do think there is a price for the labs. I'll have to check on that. But yeah, I have a lot of content on awsjulie.com, content that I personally use. It's in I started a, content that I trust and frequently asked questions, which I'm still kind of building on. But yeah, I think the best thing that you can do and the best place to find your training is in different Slack channels. And then I think most people have some sort of free content anyways to sort of draw you in. I'm building a Certified Solutions Architect course on the YouTube channel. It's going very slow. But I'm slowly getting that out. I'm worried that by the time I finish it, I'm just going to have to go back and update so much with console updates and new services and stuff. But yeah, I think if you can get some solid, good training, to get over that initial hump, and then, you get a better paying job, and then you can afford, to actually pay for training, because it takes a lot of time to create training. So, I have nothing against people who create training and charge for it. I mean, that's just what they do. But, supporting those people that have the heart, that are creating that training, I think is key.
Awesome. So Julie, if you can send me those descriptions and those links, I'll get them out to the audience in the description below. Everybody, you heard it here. Not only do you want to like and subscribe to my channel, but take a look at Julie's channel and also like and subscribe a lot of her content. She's trying to get as much as she can out for that solutions architect. I think you should just put it out and it is what it is, and at least build on and build off of it. Congratulations on all your accomplishments, including AWS. Julie, thank you for your time. Thank you for joining us. Once again, this is the Daily Tech Show. I'm your host, John Myer. And until next time.
Thank you, John.
Yep.